Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Want to give you some news on Mauricio Pochettinho. Mauricio Pochettinho is open to joining Manchester United after falling out with PSG with the summer arrival of Lionel Messi. Now, not so long ago, Pochettinho responded to Manchester United's interest. He insists he's still 200% focused on PSG despite Manchester United's interest. Manchester United players want Mauricio Pochettinho as their next manager. But Ralf Rangnick and Richard Arnold want Erik ten Hag to become Man United's next permanent manager. Earlier on this season, reports from France said that Pochettinho could be sacked by March, and Pochettino's job hinges on PSG getting to the next round of the Champions League. PSG play Real Madrid in the last 16 of the Champions League. Earlier on this season, Pochettinho reportedly told his friends he will be leaving PSG in the summer. PSG are trying to get Zidane to replace Pochettinho. Pochettino's been PSG manager for over a year. He's won a French Cup with them. His contract expires next year. Pochettinho is a good manager, even though he's hardly won anything. He's proven in the Premier League, which is beneficial, because before, Pochettinho endured a 5.5-year managerial tenure at Tottenham. Back in 2018, he got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final, and at one point he almost won the league when he was Tottenham manager. Tottenham made a bad mistake sacking him at the time. Before Tottenham, he managed Southampton. He only endured a short managerial tenure with Southampton, but he still managed to guide Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. So they're the clubs he's managed in the Premier League so far, and a while ago he managed Espanyol. Revert back to when Manchester United sacked Jose Mourinho. Manchester United should have got Pochettinho, but the club decided to go with Solskjaer instead. A lot of Manchester United fans would like to see Erik ten Hag become the next permanent manager. I think if Erik ten Hag came to manage in the Premier League, he'd replicate what he's done at Ajax. You've got to admire the work he's done at Ajax. He's won a couple of titles with them. He's developed the young players well. Revert back to 2019, he got Ajax to the Champions League semi-finals. He's been Ajax manager for over 4 years. Ajax appointed him in back in 2017. His contract expires next year. Ajax is the 4th club he's managing in his managerial career. Before Ajax he managed Utrecht. Before then he managed Bayern Munich's reserves, and before then he managed Go Ahead Eagles. And prior to the Southampton game, it said Manchester United added Luis Enrique to their managerial shortlist. Luis Enrique is the head coach of the Spain national team. Manchester United are looking for the 5th permanent manager since Ferguson retired. 4 permanent managers have been sacked since Ferguson. We sacked David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, and last year Manchester United sacked Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Ralf Rangnick, he's Manchester United's interim manager. He's been Man United's interim manager for over 2 months now. He's the interim manager till the end of the season. Then it did initially say that Rangnick is expected to take up a consultancy role for a further 2 years. But recently Rangnick was warned that the consultancy role could be in doubt now. I can assure that Manchester United will not offer Rangnick the job on a permanent basis. Rangnick has managed like 13 games so far in all competitions at Man United. He's lost 2 games so far. You know, there's been good performances under him, but there's also been poor performances as well. Rangnick's blameless for the poor performances. You know, the players are to blame for the poor performances. Like I've said, I've got a lot of respect for Rangnick. He's a very good coach. And he's a German coach, and the vast majority of German coaches are very good. And let me put into the equation, Rangnick is inheriting a lot of dead wood. None of this squad is Rangnick's. You know, he's inheriting players who other managers have brought in. Nothing has changed under Rangnick, you know, to what we saw under Solskjaer. Unfortunately, Rangnick wasn't backed in the January transfer window. You know, Man United enjoyed a very poor January transfer window. You know, we didn't make any signings last month. And Man United wanted to sign a midfielder because when Rangnick first came in, he identified Man United's midfield as a weakness. You know, Lingard and Henderson should have left last month, but Man United blocked their exits. We had the incident with Mason Greenwood towards the end of last month. Around 8 players left Man United last month. But in the summer, I'm expecting Man United to make signings. And on the other side of things, I'm expecting a lot of players to depart the club in the summer. Before Man United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Prior to the Southampton game, it said Man United players were unhappy with Rangnick's training and give a nickname to Chris Armas, who's the assistant coach. Now, Manchester United have got very good players, but we've also got inconsistent players as well. You know, we've got Edison Cavani, he's a good player. Cavani missed the game against Southampton due to injury. He played against Burnley at Turf Moor last Tuesday. He had one good chance in the game, but apart from that, he was anonymous. Now, like I mentioned yesterday, Cavani is expected to leave as a free agent in the summer. Cavani prefers a move to La Liga. Cavani's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Earlier on this season, Ralph Rangnick revealed that Edison Cavani wanted to stay at Man United until the end of the season. Manchester United got him on a free transfer from PSG back in the summer of 2020. Earlier on this season, it said River Plate were considering a transfer for Cavani in the summer to replace Julian Alvarez. Last year, it said Cavani agreed to join Barcelona on an 18-month contract, and Juventus and Boca Juniors went in for him. Cavani rejected a move to Boca Juniors. Marcus Rashford, he's been in form recently, to his credit. Rashford did alright in the first half against Southampton. Made some good runs, got in some good positions, and he got the assist for the Jadon Sancho goal against Southampton. It was a lovely ball by Marcus Rashford to pick out Sancho. I thought Rashford was quite good against Burnley at Turf Moor last Tuesday. I do recall him having a good chance in that game, and Rashford's cross led to that Josh Brownhill own goal, but obviously that goal got disallowed because there was a foul in the build-up. Rashford Had some chances in the game against Middlesbrough in the Cup. He also had a goal disallowed. You know, he came off the bench and scored the winner against West Ham before the international break. Also came off the bench and scored against Brentford. That ended Rashford's 3-month goal drought. Earlier on this season he had a minor leg injury and he missed the first 2 months of this season with that shoulder problem. And a lot of Manchester United fans, including me, have said that Rashford has not been the same player since he had that operation on his shoulder. Rashford's contract at Manchester United expires next year. He receives around £200,000 a week at the moment. Earlier on this season it said Rashford was preparing to open contract talks with Man United. He's been part of the club for a long time. He came up our academy. He's been a United player since the age of 7 and he broke into our senior squad back in 2016. And since then, he's gone to make nearly 300 appearances in all competitions. PSG have been in for Rashford. Barcelona went in for him earlier on this season. Anthony Elanga, he's a good player. Don't forget, Elanga missed a decisive penalty against Middlesbrough. And reflecting on that, you know, Anthony Elanga got racially abused. And I totally disagreed with that. You know, Elanga's done really well since he got into the first team squad. You know, Elanga's been part of the club for a long time. You know, he joined Man United's academy at the age of 12 and he's now, 19? Revert back towards the end of last year, committed his future to the club because he signed a new contract with Man United until June 2026 as an option of a further year. Jadon Sancho, he's starting to become really good now. Sancho did well against Southampton recently. You know, he scored Manchester United's goal, and not only that, every time he had the ball he looked dangerous. He got into some good positions. I thought he played very well against Burnley at Turf Moor last Tuesday, Sancho. Did very well against Middlesbrough in the Cup. You know, he scored in that one. Reflecting on that, that was Sancho's first Old Trafford goal, and it was on his FA Cup debut. Should have had another one against Middlesbrough because he hit the crossbar in the first 90 seconds. Sancho played very well in the game against Burnley at Old Trafford in the final game of last year. Unfortunately, was denied a goal. He played very well in the games against Chelsea and Villarreal away earlier on in the season because he scored in both of them games. A lot of United fans, though, expected Sancho to settle in straight away, but not every player does settle in straight away. And he's still done nowhere near as well as a lot of United fans expected. You know, revert back to when we had Solskjaer, we couldn't get the best out of Sancho because Solskjaer persistently played him out of position. There was quite a few games Sancho didn't even play in anyway under Solskjaer. Sancho endured 4 good years with Borussia Dortmund before he signed for Man United. Man United signed Sancho last summer for 78 million with add-ons included. Man United paid 73 million up front. And Sancho's got a contract with the club until June 2026 as an option of a further year. We do have the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. But Ronaldo has been out of form recently. You know, Ronaldo's not scored in his last 6 games. And these United fans saying that he needs to be dropped for the game against Brighton tomorrow. Ronaldo did play in the 1-1 draw against Southampton. He did look slightly better. You know, he had a good early chance when he went round the Southampton goalkeeper. He hit it, but to be fair, it was a good clearance from Romain Perraud, and Ronaldo did have a goal disallowed for offside by VAR in the Southampton game. Ronaldo didn't start against Burnley last Tuesday night, and I was shocked in that aspect. Ronaldo was unhappy that I didn't start against Burnley, but he did come on against Burnley. Next month, Ronaldo is planning for showdown talks with his agent about his Manchester United future. And prior to the Southampton game, it's said that Ronaldo could quit Man United in the summer, halfway into his 2-year deal. Ronaldo's told his friends he's starting to feel his age. Not so long ago, Ronaldo's son was unveiled as a Manchester United academy player, and the other week it said Man United consider swapping Cristiano Ronaldo for PSG boss Mauricio Pochettinho because Ronaldo has been targeted by PSG. Over 3 weeks ago, don't forget, Ronaldo gave an interview, and in the interview he was very critical of the youngsters, so reflecting on that he was demanding more from the youngsters. And he was backing Ralph Rangnick to do a good job at Man United. And Ronaldo also said, I'm not at Man United to compete for 6th or 7th. He said, finishing below 3rd is unacceptable. Since Ronaldo re-signed for Man United, he's got 14 goals in all competitions. He's got over 800 goals in his career. Man United re-signed him last summer for 20 million with add-ons included. He wears a number 7 shirt and his contract at Man United expires next year. There's an option to extend his contract for the further year. Ronaldo receives nearly £500,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United, and he's won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. We've got Juan Mata. Don't have a great deal of a perception on him. You know, Juan Mata doesn't get in the team. He lost his place in the team a while ago. And he's lost that yard of pace and he's aging up. But despite all of that, you know, Juan Mata's had a good career at Manchester United. You know, Mata has made 276 appearances in all competitions. Or is it 277 appearances in all competitions and scored 51 goals. You know, Mata's been at Manchester United for 8 years, so he's been a long-serving player. Got him from Chelsea back in 2014. Man United paid around 37.1 million. Revert back to 2020, Mata rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. We've got Lingard. Lingard will leave Manchester United in the summer. Well, he's out of contract at Man United in the summer. Like I said earlier on in the video, Lingard should have left Manchester United last month, but Man United blocked his exit. Last month it was Newcastle and West Ham that were battling it out to get Lingard on loan. Lingard has been part of the club for a long time. He reasoned up our academy, but like I say, he doesn't get in our team. We also have Bruno Fernandez. You know, Bruno Fernandez is one of our best players and he's certainly one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Fernandez has been in form recently, to his credit. I thought he did well against Southampton recently. He did well at Turf Moor against Burnley last Tuesday. His passing was good, his movement was good, his vision was good. Don't forget the Varane disallowed goal against Burnley came from a set piece from Bruno Fernandez. Very good from set pieces. He had chances in the game against Middlesbrough in the Cup. The best chance he had is when he hit the post. God knows how he missed that because he technically missed an open net. He was also very good in the games against Brentford and Villa away earlier on in the season because against Brentford he provided 2 assists and he scored both of Man United's goals in the 2-2 draw against Villa. But Fernandez has enjoyed a lot of poor games this season, and to be honest with you, I thought he was far superior last season to how he has been this season. Don't forget, earlier on this season, Bruno Fernandez rejected a contract offer from Man United. It said Bruno Fernandes' contract talks are postponed until the summer. Having turned down an offer last year, it said Fernandes was demanding similar money to the top earners at the club. Fernandes receives £100,000 a week at the moment. He's under contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. Fernandes has been a Man United player for 2 years. We got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. We've also got Paul Pogba. Now, Paul Pogba is a good player. He's not only a good player, he's an imperative player as well. Pogba's done very well since he come back from injury. Pogba was good against Southampton at the weekend. He had a disallowed goal in that game. That was unfortunate. He played very well against Burnley at Turf Moor last Tuesday. You know, Pogba scored in that game. That was actually his first goal of the season, and it was his first Premier League appearance since October against Burnley. Pogba also played very well against Middlesbrough in the Cup. If you do remember rightly, he won the penalty in normal time in that game. Yesterday I give you some more news on Pogba. You know, it said Pogba is open to staying at Man United beyond the end of his contract. Pogba is out of contract at Manchester United in the summer. Well, earlier on this season, like a lot of United fans updated you, including me, it said, you know, Pogba would be willing to stay at Man United as long as Ralph Rangnick is the manager for next season, because it had said that Pogba has been impressed by Ralph Rangnick since his arrival. This season has been Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he re-signed. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far. He's played over 200 games since he re-signed. He's had quite a few injuries since he re-signed, so he is injury prone. Manchester United paid £89 million for Pogba, so reflecting on that, is our most expensive signing at the moment. And we had him when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. Manchester United have also got Fred. Now, Fred is not good enough to represent the club. Fred hasn't played the last few games because he's been out with COVID. Manchester United got Fred a few years ago from Shakhtar Donetsk, got him for £50 million. We've got Scott McTominay. You know, I don't think he's good enough to represent the club either. He's been out of form in his last few games, McTominay. And I said earlier on this season that McTominay had been one of our best performers under Rangnick, because he has had his good games under Rangnick. Being part of the club for a long time, revert back to 2020, McTominay committed his future to the club because he did sign a 5-year contract. We also have Matic, not good enough. He will leave Manchester United in the summer, will Matic. His contract at Man United expires in the summer. I've always had my reservations about Matic because he's always been a static midfielder, plus he's ageing up, and that despite that, he's had his good games at United. You know, Manchester United got Matic from Chelsea back in 2017, got him in a deal worth £40 million. So Matic has been at Man United now over 4 years. We've got Alex Telles. You know, he's a good left back. He's really impressed me under Rangnick. Telles hasn't played the last few games. Not so long ago he had COVID, but he's recovered now from COVID, so I'm expecting Telles to start against Brighton tomorrow night. Telles could possibly leave the club in the summer. I hope he doesn't, because Telles has been subjected to transfer speculation before. The reason Man United brought Alex Telles in was to provide competition for Shaw. Man United got Telles from Porto back in 2020. We got him in a deal worth 15.4 million. Luke Shaw, he's a good left back overall. And to be fair, the last few games he's played, he's actually looked better. But Shaw has endured a lot of poor games this season. He was far superior last season to how he has been this season. Luke Shaw's had a few injuries though this season. He is injury prone, which is a concern. Shaw's been a long-serving player at the club. He's been at Manchester United for around 8 years now. And, we've got Harry Maguire. Certainly not good enough to represent the club. United fans are calling for Maguire to be dropped against Brighton. I think Lindelof will come in for Maguire against Brighton. A lot of United fans are saying that we need to take the captaincy from Maguire because quite clearly he's not a leader. I've got to say Maguire is Manchester United's worst ever signing. He certainly wasn't worth the 80 million we paid for him. Harry Maguire is the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club behind Pogba. Maguire's been at Manchester United for over 2 years now. Eric Bailly, he's a good centre-half, but Bailly doesn't really get in the team, does he? Plus he's injury prone, which is a concern. Bailly was at the African Cup of Nations earlier on this season. The last game he played for Man United was the 3-1 win against Burnley in the final game of last year, but he actually came off injured in that one. Bailly will leave Man United in the summer. I thought he was going to leave last month, to be honest with you. Back in April last year, Bailly signed a contract with Man United until 2024. Bailly's been at the club for over 5 years now. Man United got Bailly from Villarreal back in 2016. We paid £30 million for him. We bought him in under the Jose Mourinho era. We've got Varane. He's a good centre-half as well. Varane, though, wasn't too good against Southampton at the weekend. But Varane was very good against Burnley at Turf Moor last Tuesday. Varane was unlucky to have his goal disallowed against Burnley, but Maguire was the culprit for Varane's disallowed goal. And defensively, Varane was good against Burnley. Varane was good against Middlesbrough in the Cup, and he played well against West Ham before the break, and he played well in the 3-1 win against Brentford, especially in that first half. Most of the time when Varane plays, he seems to make the difference. Varane is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced and he's got a good pedigree behind him because look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at Real Madrid. Man United signed Varane last summer for 41 million with add-ons included. Man United paid 34 million up front. Varane's got a contract with Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. Varane's endured a couple of injuries since he signed. The first injury he got was a groin injury. He was out with that injury for a few weeks, and then obviously the second injury he got was a hamstring injury, and he was out with that injury for a while. We also have Victor Lindelof. He's not good enough to represent the club. We need to move him on. Like I said, Lindelof hasn't played for quite a while, has he? But Lindelof has played a lot of games for Man United. He's played a lot of games alongside Maguire, played some games alongside Bailly, and I think he's played some games alongside Varane. Lindelof's been at Manchester United for over 4 years. Man United got him from Benfica back in 2017, got him for £31 million. Lindelof's under contract with Man United until 2024. We also have Phil Jones. Phil Jones doesn't really get in the team, does he? Phil Jones will leave Man United in the summer, won't he? Don't forget, there was talks of him going to Bordeaux towards the end of last month, but Romano came out and said that Phil Jones rejected a loan move to Bordeaux. But it actually said Man United and Bordeaux had reached an agreement for Jones to go on loan to Bordeaux in order to get more playing time. And reports in France did say at the time that Phil Jones' talks were at final stages. But Rangnick did mention that he was happy for Phil Jones to stay. His contract at Man United expires next year. This season has been Jones' 11th season at Man United, so he has been a long-serving player. He's been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. At one point, he was out with a knee injury for a while, and we've got Diego Dalot, right back. You know, not a great player overall, but I think under Rangnick he's done good. He's impressed me. You know, Dalot's our first choice right back under Rangnick. You know, do you think Dalot could leave Man United in the summer? Because Dalot's been subjected to transfer speculation before. Last season, Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, so reflecting on that, he gained some experience. Man United got Dalot from Porto quite a few years ago now. Man United paid £19 million from his contract at Man United expires next year. Dalot did okay against Southampton as well recently. Another right back we've got, and that's Aaron Wan-Bissaka. You know, he doesn't really get in the team now, does he? He's not good enough to represent the club. Manchester United need to move him on in the summer. And obviously we've got David De Gea, one of the best goalkeepers in the world. He's been sensational this season, so he's now back to his best. You know, De Gea did well against Southampton recently. He made some very good saves. Not so long ago, De Gea got named the Premier League's Player of the Month for January. You know, he became the first goalkeeper to win the award in 6 years. Dean Henderson's our second choice goalkeeper. He's a good keeper, but doesn't get in goal much now because revert back to last summer, De Gea reclaimed that #1 spot back. Henderson's only made 3 appearances this season. And by the way, Henderson was recently arrested for abusing his girlfriend. Our third choice goalkeeper is Tom Heaton. Got him from Aston Villa on a free transfer last summer. He's just a backup. And Lee Grant is still at Man United. So there guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do. Consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.